that money.
Good day and welcome back to another stream as part of our historical order run, where we play through a bunch of different games from different series in historical order and highlight the settings behind the games, historical facts, and learn more about history through gaming and playing. Now granted, not every game, is particularly historically accurate, and it doesn't have to be. But this game I've been very much looking forward to playing because it's just, I think, such a beautifully researched and created game by a very small team, not studio. The studio is actually Obsidian, but the team was only like about 13 people from Obsidian Entertainment that ended up working on this game. And it's one taking place in Germany in the 16th century. About the year 1518, where it's starting. And it's gonna be the first real game in the historical order run that actually focuses on the German history side of things. And give me just 1 second. Alright, sorry about that, didn't want to cancel my introduction there. But so where was I? So it's the first real game in the historical order run that actually focuses on German history and, not just the 20th century German history, which of course is very well represented, and we're gonna get to that eventually as well. But actually a very interesting time in history for Germany, but the whole world really, because it really is like a shifting point, with things like the printing press being one of the new inventions. It led to knowledge being spread much faster and much easier and much more accessible. In this game in part we focus on that shift, from like manual writing to printing and the accessibility to the regular folk that it meant. And we play actually as a painter, as a Maler, as you would say in German. And he has an apprenticeship with the local monastery and is working on his, personal masterpiece, so to say. But underneath, that whole setting lurks a lot of change and a lot of people being angry with how things are. And, the highlighting of the hypocrisies of maybe the clergy and the aristocracy, being brought to the people. So, that's a big focus of the game. But most and foremost, it's like a, classic RPG, narratively driven. There's not like that much gameplay in that sense. And, it's really about choices and trying to solve an investigation, over the whole game that will be difficult to really grasp and get behind. But yeah, so the reason the stream is called Premiere Playthrough, because I haven't done that in quite a while actually with any game, is that if a game is one I have played before, but I've never streamed it before, then that's basically a Premiere Playthrough in that sense. So it's a new time for me streaming it, and likely I've only played it like once before. But yeah, so that's kind of like what it means. So it's not like my first playthrough. I have played this off stream before, like about 2 years ago or so, and really enjoyed it. So when I knew that I was doing this historical order run, I definitely wanted to include this one. And yeah, there's also a documentary about the game studio and the team behind this, where they talk a bit about the creation process and the challenges that come with creating a historical game and, you know, trying to be somewhat accurate in its representation of the time and the people. And they kind of highlight why so many people actually don't want to do historical games, you know, because it can be quite limiting sometimes if you actually care about, you know, creating something that's authentic in many different ways to the time. But also the beauty in, you know, creating a world that feels so living and breathing, and, you know, it kind of like throws you in a time machine almost, and you get to experience something from an angle that seems, you know, well researched. What's kind of cool about this game as well is the art style. It's actually based on the medieval painting style of the time. So the whole game is kind of like set in that art style. But yeah, that being said, if you're not a particular fan of that art style, and or if you're not too interested in the time setting, and you don't like narratively driven games, first and foremost, then this game is probably not for you, and that's alright. Like, even to the, you know, developers, if you don't want to watch this or don't want to play this, you know, that's totally fine. It's not for everyone. But yeah, if it is for you, then it definitely is. But yeah, so much to the introduction here to Pentiment. Hello there, Mr. Godi, welcome in. And how's it going? Hello there, Afro, good day. How's it going? Assassino, oops, wrong game. Well, you could say wrong game, but actually, there's gonna be assassins in this game. At least if you consider murdering an important people of power as an assassination. But yeah, I'm doing quite well, thank you for asking, Amita. How's it going? Sorry, I kind of thought for a second there you were Mr. Godi because of the same, color and like similar length. But welcome in, Amita. But yeah, doing good. Very much been looking forward to playing this game. It's the first real game in the historic order run that really focuses on German history. So that's gonna be cool because it's probably gonna be like lots I can translate and, you know, kind of like dive into. Hello Valevi, welcome in. And how's it going? Indeed, it is time. Oh, very nice, Amita. That's good to hear. I definitely hope you enjoy your day off. Yes, I gotta work some later, but we've got about 2.5 hours for Pentiment, so we can definitely get into the first day. The good old Holy Roman Empire. You gotta love it. Good old times. Or not. Never seen this game, so it would be interesting to see it. Yeah, if you care about this particular time and its history, then it's honestly like one of the best ones I feel like you could play. Not like, you know, there's so many games in this particular time setting. But out of the ones that there are, you know, this one is definitely worth checking out. That is, if you don't mind, you know, reading a lot and having like a very narratively focused game. I don't know what you mean, Levi. How is it going? Yeah, pretty mediocre times. It could have been worse, it could have been better, I guess. I mean, I'd rather probably live in this time than, for example, during the Crusades or something. That's for sure. So just gonna check some settings in the game before we get started here. So my first time playing, I played it in German, because I actually quite liked, you know, having games set in Germany and getting to understand, you know, the local language. And it also added to the immersion, I think. Now granted, this isn't a voice game, like, you know, everything is kind of like silent, voice acting wise. So it's really just about the font, and that of course I'm keeping in English for the stream. But yeah, that being said, the German translation is actually really good. And the main creator behind this game, he is American, I think. But he actually has German heritage, like his grandparents, I think, are German. And he also speaks German fluently. And it's definitely represented in the translation, like not that he worked on it, but you know, he probably knew how to translate some of the things, and that certainly would have had an influence on the, you know, actual translation. Alrighty, I think we're good. But yeah, that's my first save here. So yeah, it's been like pretty much 2 years at this point, like a bit more than 2 years since I finished my first playthrough. The Windmill, yeah. It's gonna be really interesting getting to re-experience it with this perspective of having, you know, played the game and knowing what some of the stuff means. I probably have forgotten, like, also, you know, a few of the plot lines and outcomes, but it's gonna be interesting. So very cool, you can actually change between stylized and easy read fonts. Now the easy read fonts, they also have like some differences, you know, but this one is much more to like, okay, how would that person actually, you know, write? And with the peasants, you can see, you know, it's very like difficult to read sometimes. They even have like typos, like on purpose. Then you have the scribe, the humanist, the monastic, you know, with this very unique font that they would have used for scripture. And also a printer type, which does look different within the game. At least, you know, it's of course like a full animation if that one starts out looking different. That's kind of cool, you know, because this further emphasizes the focus on writing and the changes made in, you know, accessibility of books through printing, which at this point, of course, was a rather recent invention. But yeah, let's go with stylized fonts. And there we go. In principio etat verbum et verbum etat apud deum et deus, etc., etc. Now, I do know like a very little amount of Latin, but I certainly can't translate this. So not even going to bother. But yeah, it's not about knowing what is written here at this point. It's about raising it. There we are. An artist's dreams within the artist's mind. Let me lower the volume a little bit for the game, actually. Because I still want to be able to hear myself while talking. And the abbot said to me, Andreas, I don't want you distracting the sisters in the library. Pretty sure that's what I chose in my first time playing. I need you to finish the commission by the end of April and keep your conversations with brother Piero to a minimum. Right, so that's something that I totally forgot exists. And I don't think I used it whatsoever my first time playing. But you can press kind of the menu button and then it throws you out of the screen and into the book, I guess. And it gives you like insight, okay, this is Piero, you know, or it actually gives you like historical background information I saw in like another playthrough. So that's something I want to utilize pretty much any time we have a chance to for potentially, you know, learning more about, yeah, the characters and the history. But yeah, so down there, where the hand kind of like starts, you can see Piero. And that kind of helps you understand, okay, that is the character. You love representation of his mind. Me too. It really is quite surreal. But yeah, that's why it's so fitting. Hello, Dr. Darling. Welcome in. And good day. How's it going? You remember this game? Have you played it? Or have you like seen it being played at some point? You also didn't use it? Yeah, I was kind of like a bit unaware. I just thought we were like, okay, you know, Piero is kind of like important, that's why it's underlined. But yeah, it actually leads to more information, which is really cool. Ah, gotcha, Dr. Darling. That's cool. Yeah, so I played this game before, like off-stream WoW, and I really enjoyed it. And it fits perfectly into the historical auto run, honestly, because it's kind of like a type of game that you can learn a lot about a particular, setting. I need you to finish this commission by the end of April. Isn't that much earlier than you were expecting? Yes, he had told me I had until the Ides of May. Asshole, and he's not going to pay you anymore, is he? He has no appreciation for the cost of his sweat. A year of labor should not be measured in coin, but in personal satisfaction and self-improvement. Right, Socrates? Personal satisfaction doesn't put much food on the table, though, does it? Heh. How did you reply to the abbot, Andreas? I said I would do my best to get it done by the end of April. With discipline and mindfulness, you will persevere. If you don't kill yourself striving to meet the abbot's unreasonable expectations. What she said, what's the point in burning your candle to the nub for the idiot abbot's sake? Despite the abbot's ire, you must endure. Soon you will have finished both the abbot's work, as well as your masterpiece. And then you will return to Nuremberg, a free imperial city of the Holy Roman Empire, major trade center, and city of arts, including printing. So in German it would be Nuremberg, which sounds, similar enough, I guess. Where marriage and your new life as a master await you. Yes, marriage to someone he has never met. Hardly ideal. Well, the alternative is becoming a philosopher. Oh, Jesus. Then you should definitely get married. Is she pretty at least? Okay, so red font is more like an emphasis on a word. A letter? That's what my brother said in his letter, but maybe he's just trying to lift my spirits. It is growing late. The way of time stops for no man, Andreas. I fear you must leave us. Ah, true, your majesty. Will you visit us again soon? Well, I can't always dream of this place, your majesty. Of course. If you are not here tomorrow night, I pray you will be someplace as pleasant. Grobian, please see Andreas safely home. Of course, your majesty. So Grobian is kind of like a bit of an interesting word in German. Because it's a bit of an insult, but more like a, mild insult. Like you could say to someone if they kind of like were very rough, doing something, Like if you're not very handy or like a bit clunky, I guess. Then you could kind of like say du Grobian or something like that. Until next time, Andreas. Until next time, your majesty. Pay no mind to the other thoughts, Andreas. The dude licking the boat, though. think that one too many drinks. I never do. Ow. At least I would if they'd stop stepping on my feet. Watch where you're going. They're fools, Andreas. No point in trying to teach them anything. I know John wants you to endure the abbot's shit, but since I take you home, I get the last word. So, yeah, the word Grobian, I guess, of him, you know, really stems from the fact that he's, like, swearing a lot, I would say. So he's like a Grobian in his language. Don't let him run, you ragged boy. I won't. The abbot can't push me around. That's what I like to hear. Yeah. Would you please? Yeah, that's right. Please step on my other toe. I give up. Take me home, Grobian. As you wish, Andreas. Good morning, Ursula. Okay, I'm not gonna try to say that. Oleum Andur or something like that. Time to get up. Chapter 1, The Baron, April 1518. So, this is where we have our journal. A few more pages. Prime hour 6. Another day, another few pages for the abbot, and hopefully a few for myself. I need to get across town and head up to the abbey so I can start work at the scriptorium. Here we have a picture of Andreas Mahler. I'm gonna try my best to keep everything in like German pronunciation for the names, because I don't think they actually translated those. But sometimes, you know, talking English and then, you know, saying out like a German name, it automatically puts you sometimes into hold up. Give me just 1 second. I think there's a vesp in my room. Alright, got it. So there's the map. We got outer Tassing, then inner Tassing, the Kiersau Abbey, and even a map for Europe. To get more of an insight where we actually are located here. So Tassing, as you can see, is actually quite far to the south. Like very close to Italy here. We also got Prague. Prague is gonna also become more important later. Ah, yeah, there's also the Pipo tab. We got Brother Piero of Verona. He's an artist of Chiesa Abbey, known for his kindness and helpful nature. Brother Piero is also respected as a master painter, specializing in works of extraordinary color. And we have Ursula, daughter of Peter and Clara, sorry. Half-sister of Eva und Big York. Okay. Really should clean this up. The Picatrix, Key of Solomon, the Heptameron. Prior Ferenc keeps giving me all of these books to read. Yeah, that's Brother Ferenc. Go to bed again. Just sleep for the day. Andrea. Good morning, Andreas. Did you sleep well? Quite well, actually, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Anyway, I know you'll be off to the Abbey, so I packed you some food. Almonds, cheese, and some of the rye you like from the Albans. Otto wanted me to ask you to join him for dinner at the Abbey. There's Otto. Otto stopped by? Yes, around dawn. Here you are, Andreas. That's the kind of you, Clara. Many thanks. Master Andreas, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, could we... Would it be too much trouble if you paid next month's rent today? And if we raise it by 2 groschen? Groschen, a type of fixed silver coin minted throughout the Holy Roman Empire. Groschen are typically worth 12 pfennigs, but may be minted at different values. I hate to ask, but we're behind on our taxes to the Abbey. 2 months behind. Peter's losing his hair over it. Even more than usual, I mean. That's Peter. Sorry, Peter. Jesus Christ, that's gonna take me a bit to really get into my mind. This whole like switching back and forth. Yeah, I mean, we first gotta actually, you know, take care of the money and get it, I guess. But, yeah, I mean, I can't promise anything, but I see what I can do. Of course, I understand. I hate to ever ask it of you. Our taxes get harder to pay every year. Peter works hard, but it just never seems like it's enough. Saint Luke bless you for helping me out. Saint Luke is a Christian evangelist and patron saint of artists and physicians, often represented by a winged bow. Speaking of Saint Luke, how's your masterpiece coming along? It's been 2 months now, hasn't it? Slowly, I'm afraid. Most of my days are spent doing work for the Abbey. It's only during the Divine Office that Prior Ferenc allows me to work on my masterpiece. The Divine Office is a prayer time observed by all Christian monastic orders. Monks and nuns pray together 7 times a day and once at night, as dictated by the rule of Saint Benedict. That's a lot of praying. Wouldn't be for me. A reasonable restriction, but slow going. The city council doesn't require to become a master. I make it mostly to show clients and for my own sake. And yes, when I do finish, I will go back to Nuremberg, where I will marry and open a workshop of my own. From Nuremberg to university and now traveling the world as an artist? What a life you have ahead of you, Master Andreas. Yes, I suppose it does feel like I'm starting a new chapter in my life after. After some wandering. It must be rather frightening, starting all over again. It is, but I know now that this is what I want to do. Not many people get to decide that. Certainly not anyone in Tassing. Anyway, I don't know anything about art, but I've seen you sketching such beautiful things in your little book. Your masterpiece must be wonderful. Well, it's hard to say until it's done. That's no way to think about it. I'm sure it will be a treasure when it's finished. Now, I have to get back to my own work. Have a good day at the Abbey, Andreas, and we will see you after Vesper for supper. Vespers is a monastic hour at dusk, one of the major prayer hours. It is followed by supper. Not tonight, but thank you. Klaus Drucker invited me for supper. That's Klaus Drucker. Now Drucker means printer, so that was his job, right? Like many surnames at this time were basically descriptions of what your occupation and, main job was. So Andreas Maler, it means Andreas Painter. Klaus Drucker means Klaus Printer, etc. And that's still, something that people still have as names today. But of course, usually they're not actually, having that job anymore. And the words have even changed over time to be spelled, a bit differently. And then also pronounced differently depending. But yeah, that's where a lot of surnames stem from. Of course. Please say hello to the Druckers for us. Of course. Until later, Clara. Hello, Andreas. Okay, I can't talk more to Eva, can I? That's fair enough. Hello, Clara. Can you spare a moment to chat? Of course, Andreas. How can I help? You said you were behind on taxes to the Abbey. Exactly how much are you short? Oh, well, about 2 guldens worth. Gulden are gold coins used as a currency for the Holy Roman Empire. Though different standard exists for the gulden in different regions, it is generally equivalent to the Florentine florin. I didn't know that, but that's really cool. That's a cool connection to Assassin's Creed 2, which was the currency in that game, and of course also in Brotherhood. Not in Revelations, because Revelations had the akçe, which was the main currency in the Ottoman Empire. Maybe you tried playing the Elder Scrolls Dagger 4, so hard to play with those controls, you just uninstalled it. So which Elder Scrolls was that one? Because I only remember like Oblivion and Skyrim and stuff, but I haven't really played any of them. So I'm not too sure when exactly that one released. Was it like before Oblivion? Yeah, Oblivion is like number 4, isn't it? Or something? So I can only imagine how Elder Scrolls 2 would be like when it comes to clunkiness. I mean, even the original Oblivion would probably be a bit tricky to get into if you haven't played the games before nowadays. I would imagine. But yeah, I don't blame you, dude. You know, like, if you have played the game when it came out, or if you just love older games, you know, then that might be an easier time or a better time to have, but otherwise it can be quite tricky. From 1996, yeah. That would definitely be rough, I would imagine. Have you played any other Elder Scrolls game before? Like, have you played... oh, you have played Skyrim, right? Haven't you played that on stream at some point, even? If you can't pay your rent early, that's alright. I'm sure we can find some ways to pay the abbot. I'm happy to contribute whatever I can. I know times are hard for you right now. You have a good heart, Andreas, but I'm afraid I can't accept. Peter's too proud of a man to ask for charity while there's still ground to till. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked you about rent in the first place. You're young and have your own life ahead. Sarena's the first, Dagger 4 the second, Morrowind the third, then Oblivion and Skyrim, 4th and 5th respectively. And you've played Oblivion and Skyrim? Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, that's tricky. I mean, you know, if Morrowind was already a bit complicated and then the second, you know, was just not your thing. I reckon the first one would not really be better either. I would imagine. I'm happy to pay you early, Clara. You've been good host to me, and I can do without more than your family. God bless you, Andreas. Don't mention this to Peter, alright? He would hate to know I told you about our troubles. He won't know a thing. Thank you, Andreas. Until later, Clara. Alrighty, I think we're done here in our home. At least temporary home. We're staying with his family, of course. Okay, I can't talk to Big Jörg. I can talk to Peter, I guess. Not like I wanna tell him about the troubles, but I'm sure there's gonna be a dialogue choice not to talk about it directly. Andreas. Okay. I can't trigger a phone dialogue either. And we got the ill Peter. Maybe easier with controller. With a mouse and keyboard, it's hard. I could imagine, honestly, with controller it might be, you know, a bit more streamlined in terms of controls. Like some games don't translate that well to keyboard and mouse controls, I feel like. I'm not sure if they were intended to be played that way. I'm sure they were, right? Because is there like even a console version for those like early games? God bless you. Ah. Andreas. Ah, oh, yes, Andreas. This weather has been awful. God awful. This town's gone to shit since my days. Were things very different when you were young? As different as beer and piss. The old abbot didn't bother us much about our customs. He didn't mind if we left a little offering to Perchta to keep the skies clear. The weather fair? So Perchta is a pagan goddess of the Alps, associated with animals and spinning wool. She is still invoked by some Christians in Austria, Switzerland, Bavaria, and Swabia. It's so weird, like reading Swabia as a German. It's not a word I have read in English a lot before. They're supposed to be played on mouse and keyboard, but the controls are a bit weird. I gotcha, yeah. Yeah, who knows? Like maybe you could buy into controller that actually, you know, ends up working better. I mean, even if they're not having, you know, been designed for a controller, they might still work out quite well. Die Schwaben. Wer? Und die Bayern. Die Oberbayern. Hello there, Vinek. Welcome in. And good day. Matthias knew that Christ was in our hearts, even if a white lady's name was on our lips. Saint Moritz is the patron saint of Tassing. Legend states that he was the Egyptian-born commander of a Roman legion who converted to Christianity. They were all martyred for their faith. His hand is a relic in Kirsau's shrine. I thought Saint Moritz protected Tassing. Yes, and Saint Satya too. But who do you think protects it before they came along? Saint Satya. One of Tassing's patron saints, Satya was a local pagan who converted to Christianity and miraculously aided Saint Moritz's soldiers with food in the dead of winter. She was martyred for her actions. The saints were the first to watch over Tassing. My father knew that. Old Rannik Kemper knew that. Rannik Kemper, the late husband of Ottilia. That bastard abbot may not like it, but some of us keep the tradition alive. Like the old widow, Ottilia. Yes, yes. She always hangs to the doorframe, lavender, to keep the spirits out. I see. I should go. Alright. God bless you. Okay, so the monastery is to the right. So naturally I'm going to the left. If I can. Morning, Andreas. Morning, Big Jörg. How's it going? You working today? Just taking a rest for a bit. Dad's still in the field. He hit a big rock with a plow and it took me Lord knows how long to pull it out. You off to the abbey? Hello there, Per. Welcome in. And how's it going? Indeed. Yeah, this game is great. I'm glad you're also liking it. Every day but Sunday. Right. Thank God for Sundays. Smells like a storm's coming. No? Huh. Just smells like fresh alpine air to me.
Good riddance.
You've been traveling too much. Where was it you spent your Wanderjahre before you came to Tassing? See, some things I don't even have to explain because the game does. Wanderjahre, wandering years during which the journeymen, artists or craftsmen travel far and wide to improve their skills. And fun fact, this is actually a practice still done. Now granted, not many do it anymore, but there's actually like some people who still do, who keep it as a tradition. That, you know, they're kind of like in their 20s or something, or like even 30s. They go and, you know, like travel the world, you know, kind of like have a certain profession. And they go around and, you know, learn it at different places and visit different masters, for instance. So basically to see a lot of the world and also to kind of like hone your skills, I guess. And yeah, like where I grew up, there were actually quite a few who still have done that. And then when we came back from that trip, which often, you know, were like 1 year or like multiple years, they would like throw a feast basically as like a welcoming, you know, kind of like party. Ah yeah, so this is a background choice. That will affect my character choices going forward. So pretty sure my first time playing, I went for Italy. Andreas knows Italian and did a Greek and can reference cultural touchstones from Florence, Venice and Milan. When we have the Low Countries, Andreas knows some Dutch and French and can reference cultural touchstones from Antwerp, Brooks and Ghent. In Basel, Andreas knows some Italian and French and can reference cultural touchstones from Basel, nearby Bern, Zurich and Freiburg. I wanna go with choices that I didn't make my first time playing. So given that I went for Italy, this time I'm gonna go with Basel. Over in Switzerland, Basel, mostly. Swiss air must be different then. Spend enough time in these mountains and you'll be able to smell a storm coming. How long will that take? 10, 15 years? I don't think I have that long, Big Jörg. What did you spend all that time in Switzerland doing anyway? Other than art, I mean. Another choice. We got the hedonist. Andreas seeks out pleasure wherever he goes. He's extremely social and quite experienced in all of the enjoyable vices of the world. Which is what I chose my first time playing. Then we have craftsman. Andreas lives to work and dedicates all of his time to his art. The bookworm. Andreas spends all of his non-working free time finding and reading as many books as he possibly can. Rapscallion. Andreas has a penchant for getting involved in petty schemes, pranks, minor crimes, and fistfights. And businessman. Andreas devotes much of his time to self-promotion, optimizing business expenses, making investments, and balancing his books. I'm gonna go with craftsman. Andreas lives to work and dedicate all of his time to his art. Other than art, nothing. That's what I was there for. Art is the whole point, Big Jörg. The craft. I don't have time for anything else. Oh, sorry I asked. Now I feel bad about it. Anyway, I have to get going. Jörg, let's go. Dad's already acting like I'm talking too long, even though I did all the work to get the rock out. See you later, Andreas. Until later. So even though you say like goodbye, there's often still more dialogue. Hey Andreas, you say hello to the girls today? Eva and Clara? No, I mean the chickens. Peter, James and John. I liked it when you stroke their back or give them a good scritch under the breast. You named your chickens after the apostles? Isn't that blasphemy? I guess when you put it plain like that. But I hear about the apostles every Sunday in Mass. They witness greatest moments of glory and his darkest trials. Jesus' darkest trials. And I was thinking, that's how it is with the girls and me. They see everything I deal with around here. That makes perfect sense to me, Big Jörg. You have much in common with Christ. That probably sounds ironic, but... I don't know if you shouldn't, you know, mention it to anybody else. People are definitely gonna not take kindly to it, but... I don't want him to, like, you know, feel like he has to keep everything in secret or something. You're making fun. It's fine. I get it. I just call them the girls from now on. I don't recall family eating eggs. What do you do with all of them? Oh, we sell them to the Bauers. Clara says we need the extra money for taxes. Anyway, I should get back to it until later, Andreas. Until then... Oh, Andreas, good timing. Do you have a moment to lend me a hand? Yeah, sure. Wonderful. I've got too many irons in the fire. Or rather, shoes. Horseshoes. I miscounted how many I put in. Now I need a hand, else they overheat and I won't be able to work the metal. Here, take the shoe and the tongs. Put the hot part of a shoe on the anvil and I will hit it with a hammer. Kinda fucked up the beginning there. Because I thought he was like going to hammer it. Ah, well done. See? Short work. Thanks for the help, Andreas. I don't know what I was thinking doing all of those at once. It sure would be nice to have someone to help me out here every day. Have you considered an apprentice? I have. None of the boys in the village seem interested. Keep at them. I bet you could get Bert Drucker. Klaus would have my head if I tried. Anyway, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I see you and Otto up by the Abbey guest house for dinner. Until then. Andres Schmidt's smithy. It's so much smaller than the one he uses at the Abbey. Martin, please, can you give me a hand here? What do you want? I'm keeping an eye on them. That looks a lot like standing there and doing nothing. Martin, for Christ's sake, help your cousin. Morning, Andreas. Excuse us. One of the fence rails fell and the sheep started hopping it. I like how the whole square is just full of sheep. Is there something I can do to help? Have you ever handled sheep before? Well, no. Then no, but thank you. Question of you to offer. Oh look, there's something going on up at the Steinauer's place. Who's that on the horse? Looks rich. I don't know, Martin, but Lucky is giving him an earful. Christ, I haven't seen Lucky that worked up since Peter and Clara's wedding, when Johann pulled his pants down. Oh, Johann, what have you done? Amita, how do you call a sheep? Come here, sheepy sheepy. I don't know if you remember that from Witcher 3. Is that with the herbalist dude? Well, it's not like really a herbalist, but you know, the one with his personal sheep that you have to kind of like ring a bell for to kind of like lure back to him. That's quite a funny quest. Knock two of my men's teeth out. You don't want to feel the strength behind the stonemason's anger. It's a contract in Skellige. So not the one I was thinking of then. Right. Now I remember. Yeah, I remember that one. I didn't do it on my last time playing. With the no hut, I didn't think I uncovered that contract. But I definitely played it in the 2 playthroughs before that. But yeah, that one is quite funny too. Do you think he's noble? He looks really rich. God damn it, Martin. Stay out of trouble for once. What? And Eddie? Behave yourself. Don't we have enough to deal with right now? Andreas, if you wouldn't mind moving your skinny little body up the road, we need to get these sheep under control. Of course. See you later. Yeah, I don't think that telling Martin to do this is really gonna do anything. So I'm just gonna say good luck. If anything, if I tell Martin to, you know, help his family, then he's probably less inclined to actually do it. Okay, so 1 second. Just wanna make sure I don't miss out on anything. Let's have a look over to the right side. Ah, okay, never mind. I couldn't even go further here. So we have talked to anyone we could so far. But yeah, so this is gonna be an important detail back there. The stonemason arguing with a rich dude. The printer with a printing font. Morning, Andreas. How's it going? Morning, Klaus. Another day at the Abbey, another few hours to work on my masterpiece. Good to hear. You still coming by for supper tonight? Marie and Bert would love to see you. So that's Marie. You really need to see the new woodcuts I have for an Italian edition of Till Eulenspiegel. Till Eulenspiegel, the titular character of a popular 15th century book, Till is a prankster, continually exposing the vices and hypocrisy of others. He's also quite skilled at tricking people into smelling, touching, or eating his excrement. And there's still like a satire magazine in Germany called The Eulenspiegel. And wieder, the old man that gives you the contract thinks it's a dragon and refers to it as such. It's always so funny when people say it's like this creature and then it turns out to be something completely different. And then they don't believe Garrett when he tells them otherwise. But it's always satisfying when Garrett ends up explaining why it is the case. And just, you know, kind of like teaches them a lesson. Thank you for summoning the German, Dr. Darling. All the beauties of Firenze can melt your heart, you see. Beware the girls of Roma, lest fire you wish to pee. Oh, die Schönheiten von Firenze können dein Herz zum Schmelzen bringen. Du wirst es sehen. Aber nimm dich in Acht vor den Mädchen von Roma. Es sei denn, du möchtest gerne Feuer pissen. Yeah, usually you tell him it was a dragon because his comment is so funny. Just like confirm and validate him. Yeah, sure, it was a dragon. Now pay me the ransom for a dragon. It's like 10 times the price of a folktale. Perfection. Perfektion. I didn't realize Father Thomas let you print books in Italian. Come on, Andreas. He's not that strict. I know he's just trying to protect people from... Just sloppy typesetting. Witch mania? Oh god, don't say that, Andreas. We're less than a day's ride from Innsbruck. Capital of the Austrian county of Tyrol, and a major stop on the Imperial Road connecting Italy and Bavaria. It is the closest major city to Kirsau Abbey and Tassing. Notably, it was also the site of the witch trials in 1485. So that's why Klaus says that. Amita Garrett also says, I've also won the hand of a princess, but I will get the coin for now. I gotta love when Garrett is like making comments like that. I always love his deliveries on lines, you know, because it's just so dry. We need to get people around here all worked up about witches again. Besides, don't talk about witches around Father Thomas. Just a bad idea. Good to know. So, supper tonight after Vespers? Of course. Thank you. Great. I'll tell Marie and Bert you're coming. See you then. See you later. God bless you, Master Marla. I hope your week is going well. Thank you, Father. It's going quite well. I'm just on my way up to the hill to get to work. Good, good. Andreas, I don't recall seeing you at Sunday morning Mass. You understand how important it is for your salvation that you receive Holy Communion, don't you? Yeah, I'm not gonna... I don't care that he don't likes me not being at Mass. Andreas, do you think I like saying these silly things to people to get them to come to church? Oh my, what a blessed day to receive such an illustrious visitor. Master Mahler, this is Lorenz, Baron of Rotvogel, a great lord from the countryside near Worms. A prosperous and periphery city in the western part of the empire, located on the Rhine River, Worms has been the site of many imperial imperiedicts? Diets? What? I have no idea what that is supposed to mean. Good to see you, Father Thomas. It is nice to be remembered fondly. I only wish all of your neighbors here are welcoming. Well, yes. What brings you back to our little town? My wife and I were returning from a trip to Venice. We spent a few days in Innsbruck, and it was terribly dull. Venice, one of the most powerful republics on the Italian peninsula, sitting on the northwest coast of the Adriatic Sea, Venice is a major center for commerce and art in southern Europe. And we also, of course, spent quite a considerable amount of time there, quite recently, with Ezio Auditore da Firenze. I mean, it has a certain charm common to these alpine cities, but the place has crawling with nobles for the emperor's diet. The emperor? Was he there? Did you see him? Oh, briefly, but he was sitting for a portrait at the time. Quite lovely. I didn't want to bother him or the painter. Who was the artist, my lord? I'm sure you know him, an older man from Nuremberg with enough of a reputation to paint the emperor. Ah, Albrecht Dürer, well known across the empire and a legend in our mutual hometown. Albrecht Dürer also has been mentioned quite recently in Ace of Revelations, because he painted Sophia Sator, the love interest and, you know, later wife of Ezio. Like one of the paintings that you have to find in the game is painted by Albrecht Dürer. He's a renowned painter and printmaker from Nuremberg. He's revered in Venice as well as across the Holy Roman Empire. Since 1512, he has enjoyed the patronage of Emperor Maximilian I. Ah, you are also from Nuremberg? Interesting. Anyway, my wife wanted to stay a bit longer in Innsbruck and I decided to ride ahead to make a visit to Kiersau. I heard Father Matthias died shortly after my last visit, of course. The abbot of Kiersau before Father Gernot, widely respected by the monks and nuns as well as the people of Tassing, known for his kindness and his love of books. A great loss for the abbey and for us all. Indeed, by good fortune, I recently came across a copy of the Historia Tassia he was reading during my last visit. The Historia Tassiae, an accountant of the early history of Tassing, Kiersau's previous abbot, Father Matthias, had a copy. Baron Rotvogel brought another to the abbey as a gift. Father Matthias was hoping to find a second copy to corroborate the contents of the first. It contains some fascinating details about the history of this place. I'm afraid it might even cause a bit of scandal. Huh. Ah yes. But I must be off. There will be time enough to discuss Tassing's past later. So it's quite interesting, right? Because the local Christians here and people of the church, they're of course not overly fond of, pagan rituals and, Tassing's past that kind of like conflicts with their points of view. So not everyone will be very happy to see that's being brought to the abbey. I commissioned a manuscript from the abbey through Father Gernot, and I have come to check in its progress. There he is, Father Gernot. Oh, my lord, if you have come to see your manuscript, you should speak with young Master Mahler here. Not quite a true master yet, I still have to marry and be approved by our city council. Andreas is a journeyman artist from Nuremberg. For the next few months, he's also helping the abbey's sculptorium. A room for writing, illustrating and illuminating manuscripts. Though typically associated with monasteries, they have disappeared from almost all abbeys by the 16th century. And replaced by the printing press, pretty much. A Nuremberg artist working in an abbey scriptorium in 1518? Oh, we should talk, Andreas. I must know the story. Of course, my lord. It would be an honor. Wonderful. It's so rare to find someone in the countryside who knows anything about art. Thank you for the introduction, Father Thomas. Come to supper at the abbey tonight. I'm inviting you to the abbot's table. I already have I'm already, attending another dinner. Ah, sorry, never mind. He only invited Thomas, not me. Oh, don't worry about it, Father. Just show up at after Vespers. What is he going to do? Refuse us? Excellent. We will see you then. Michlaus, I'm dismounting. Run ahead of us and take the horses to the abbey's guest house. I'd like to take my time talking with Master Mahler. I'll meet you there. At once, my lord. So then, a journeyman from Nuremberg? Forgive me for saying so, but you seem a little old to not yet be a master. You said you were unmarried? No, I'm not married, but in truth I came to my vocation later than my father and brothers. I was in university for a number of years at Erfurt. It's one of the most populous cities in the empire and is located near its heart. It has been home to a respected university since 1379 and is a center for humanist thought. Erfurt, wonderful. The same university as Martin Luther. Have you read his works? Tremendous mind. Probably one of the most important people of the time, Martin Luther. Priest and professor of theology at the University of Wittenberg, controversial for his opinions on the church's sale of indulgences to forgive sin, which were recently published and distributed throughout the empire. And he was also the one nailing the 95 Theses to the church door of Wittenberg. And he ended up copying, like through the printing press, copying the Theses and bringing them to the folks. So anyone could kind of like, see what really is happening at the church and, Martin Luther exposing the lies. That, people are paying the church to have the church or God forgive their sins. So they wouldn't get into, eternal hellfire or something like that. Which Martin Luther was very much opposed to. In general, Martin Luther, he actually comes from a very Catholic background. Like he used to be a monk and he used to kind of like basically punish himself. Like that was part of I think, practice in the abbey that he was in. That for the sins that you have done in your life, you have to basically punish yourself. And he did physically harm himself, with like whips and stuff. I think there was like one they could kind of like whip themselves with by putting it over, your shoulder, pretty much. And eventually, I guess he asked himself, if God is loving, then he doesn't want me to be, punished physically, or me punishing myself physically. And didn't Jesus, die to forgive everyone's sins, So that kind of like definitely kickstarted a movement across Germany and of course Europe as well, alongside, other events that happened at the time. Like the Hussite Wars, for instance, that we kind of like actually had referenced in Kingdom Come Deliverance. But yeah, really shifting lots of Christians towards the evangelical Protestant ways and leaving the Catholic Church behind. Hello there, Oliver. Welcome in. And good day, how's it going? You've returned from a dungeon. With that face of Ellen. That's you right now. Like, returning from a dungeon. But yeah, I hope you're having a good day, Oliver. Hello, Versacat. Welcome in as well, dude. And good day to you. Dr. Darling, you guess Kingdom Come 2 is out of the question for the future? Well, as part of the historical run, definitely. But I wouldn't mind giving the game a try in the future, though. I feel like Kingdom Come 2 fixes a lot of the issues I might have had with the gameplay side of things. So it might be a better experience, honestly, from that perspective. But yeah, I definitely, didn't include it in the historical order run, and I won't play it for the duration of the historical order run either. But yeah, maybe at a later point, though. What about you, Dr. Darling? Have you played more Kingdom Come, actually? Second, he forgave everyone's sins up to that point. Not for all of time. It's like, yeah, everyone who's still alive at that point of me dying, your sins are forgotten. But everyone in the far future, nah. You have to pay the church to have their sins be forgotten. After my experience with the first game. Yeah, the Kingdom Come was definitely a bit weird in the sense of I actually enjoyed a lot about the game. But also I didn't have it in me to play more of it. Like I already spent so much time with it and I feel like I didn't really make good progress. And I really didn't want to sit there for like another 2 months and just play Kingdom Come. So before I kind of like, force myself and don't have a good time playing it, I'd rather like move on. But yeah, I mean, there was still like so much I really liked about the game, But granted also some things that, I didn't enjoy quite as much. But yeah, I'm glad we played it. But I'm also kind of glad that, I just ended up watching the rest of the story. Oliver's going great. Just got home from the gym. What the medieval torture chambers this game. Glad to hear, Oliver. That's good. I hope you had a good time at the gym. Gotta get that Hawk back, am I right? But yeah, so this game is a very small, game made by a very small team of about 13 people from Obsidian Entertainment. Now they're the guys behind games like Fallout New Vegas, even South Park The Stick of Truth, but also The Outer Worlds and games like that. And it's kind of like a passion project by the people behind it. They wanted to create like a smaller scale, game. And this is like a more classic RPG, very, very narratively driven. And yeah, it takes place in Upper Bavaria, Germany. And is about like a murder investigation essentially. Now we still have to get to that point, but you're playing as a painter who's like on an apprenticeship here. And during your stay in this place, you have to basically work on your masterpiece, but also uncover what happened with the murder. Like who was it? Why did it happen? And as you do so, you uncover lots about the people living here, about the history of a place, and about the history of a time. And yeah, it's a very interesting time in history because it's really about the change from, writing to printing, for instance, and how much that kickstarted when it comes to like, thought movements. So, yeah, that's it. We bought a month ago, but no time for games. That's definitely fair too, Dr. Darling. Yeah, that's the thing. Gotta have a time as well. It was definitely also something I considered with Kingdom Come, like whether, I would have continued or not. Of course, definitely a question of like, okay, how much time you do want to actually commit to a game. The Hauksberg is tiny compared to yours. Where's the beer? We're definitely gonna be able to drink some beer in this game, I think, at some point. There's definitely some tavern missions. How would the painter have to solve a murder? That's the question, isn't it? It's definitely not like, just main character syndrome, where you have like any random job and you end up, doing the most exciting task. It definitely makes sense why Andreas, the main character, has to investigate, I guess. But you will see. Is that rabbit involved in the murder? Wow. Good attention to detail there, Sackhead. Good eye. That rabbit is actually one talking right now. He's Lorenz. Not the dude standing there to the left. He's a shapeshifter, Bavaria, no beer? That would be outrageous. A scam, if you will. Honestly, you're not wrong. like Bavaria and beer have a very strong relationship for sure. Like to this day, the beer and alcohol lobby is insane. The way it's like interconnected with the politics even. But one definitely has to understand also the history behind beer, right? There used to be a time where having clean drinking water wasn't easily accessible to our people. And basically brewing beer was a way to both have a nutritious and filling kind of like drink, but also, you know, give you kind of like hydration. And beer at that point, it used to be very mild, like not nearly comparable to beer nowadays, like especially in Germany. You wouldn't really get drunk off like one beer or even have like much of an effect. Now, of course, granted, you know, people used to feast on beer as well and they would also get drunk. But yeah, like, you know, it was definitely more like part of a diet in lots of ways because it made sure they had like a safe drink, essentially. And that's why it had like such a high standing in society because, I mean, even children, I believe, now I might be wrong here, even children, I think, used to drink beer, you know, that was like very mild. So, yeah, that had definitely a huge influence on the standing of beer, but it's not really comparable to nowadays, you know, like some parents still get their, you know, teenage kids and like even younger to like have a taste of it or something. And it's like not comparable, you know, the amount of alcohol beer has nowadays versus at this point. He's just sitting there listening, very sus. Yeah, he doesn't move an inch. Also, what about those butterflies? Why are they not moving forward? Also very sus. He says things about the church that should have been said years ago. Might get him into trouble, but he's a brave, brilliant man. Wait, you may have even met him. Did you? You must tell me. Ah, no. He was a few years ahead of me. Still, his ideas do seem fascinating. I agree wholeheartedly. I simply must meet him if I get the chance. I wonder if the good brother of the abbot have heard of him. Of the abbey. Perhaps they have even read his list of 95 theses against the church. So there it is, the 95 theses. A list of propositions against the church's practice of selling indulgences for the remission of sin. It was written in 1517 by Martin Luther, so 1 year prior. Come on kids, don't forget to have your daily jug of beer. Yeah, honestly, some parents are really like that. I mean, like not, you know, kids, but it's very common, like in Germany, for instance, drinking under supervision is allowed from a pretty young age. Like, I'm not sure the exact age, it might be 12 to 14 or something. But, you know, some people would definitely do that. And they basically raise their kids to become like alcohol dependent. It's like so normalized here, and I'm sure it's like in other countries, you know, as well. But in Germany, I feel like especially if the alcohol culture is just out of hand sometimes. Like it really used to turn me off so much that I didn't really drink alcohol until I was like 16 to 18, and even then, you know, I didn't really, you know, drink much of it. I saw like firsthand the, you know, damage it can cause to people. So that really wasn't, you know, that interesting to me. But yeah, it's very normalized here to just get, you know, super drunk at a young age. But now you can see beer that has 10 to 12% alcohol. Like, is that even beer anymore? Yeah, honestly, you probably would have to, you know, kind of like label it differently, like call it a hard beer or something. Because, yeah, if it has that amount of alcohol, then, you know, even one beer might be enough to get one, you know, kind of like tipsy. That is the Giga beer, the Ultra beer. This one time you tried a 10% out beer and got an instant headache. Yeah, I don't blame you. And who's this Amita guy? And then people brag about how drunk they were, which is wild. Yeah. If you don't have a good story about how much you've forgotten about last weekend, then why are you even talking, I guess? Father Matthias has not was not about having a lively debate. I hope Father Gernot does not disappoint in that regard. But enough about Luther for now. Tell me about your university studies. Forgive me, Baron, but did you attend university? You seem very well educated. Ha, no. My family is merely wealthy enough to have provided me with all the books and tutors a child could dream of. I love all knowledge, from Aristotle and Cicero to Ficino and Erasmus, and everyone in between and yet to come. So Aristotle, we of course heard about this one already. A Greek philosopher and student of Plato, renowned as a polymath, he wrote on a wide variety of subjects. His work is extensively cited by current scholars, and even more work is attributed to him than he could have ever written. Erasmus of Rotterdam, a Dutch priest and philosopher who is preeminent among northern humanists, he is known for his works in Latin and Greek, as well as his courts for reform within the church. Marsilio Ficino was a 15th century Italian priest and humanist who was one of the leading figures of the Italian Renaissance. He is well known for his translations of the works of Plato into Latin. And Cicero, statesman, scholar, lawyer, and renowned orator of the late Roman Republic. He's revered for both of his contributions to Latin literature and his skill at rhetoric. Aristotle, they really loved him in the early modern period, especially in medicine. They were like, oh my god, that guy was onto something. Let's prove he was right instead of inventing something new. It's much easier to just lean on the work of someone else and just try your best to spin ways into making sense for that logic, instead of coming up with your own ideas. It's like the ancient dudes were so smart. Magic healing thingy, there's a witch, let's hunt. Pretty much, Mr. Godi. It's like, hey, someone actually found a solution that doesn't align with our way of thinking. They must be a sorcerer. She's a witch. The question is, does she weigh less than a goose? Because if she does, then surely she must be a witch. According to Monty Python. I may have misjudged the Baron. It seems he is as well read as any university student. In truth, I'm simply happy to speak with another well-educated man. Now then, did you earn your doctorate? It's so cool. You know, now the font actually changes from Lorenz because the perception of Andreas as to his education status changed. So it actually becomes the same font that Andreas is using. It's one of the reasons I'm looking quite forward to Assassin's Creed Codename Hexe. You know, I really hope they do their best to be, you know, historically accurate to the time and the struggles that people face. No, I didn't. Only a master's degree. I started working towards a doctorate, but didn't finish. Oh, that's a shame. Well, what was your area of study? Another background choice. Now we have theology. Andreas has a strong understanding of Catholic theology, biblical knowledge, canon law, heresies, and similar subjects, which is what I chose on my first time playing. Then we have imperial law. Andreas knows the basics of the fractured systems of laws that govern the various states of the Holy Roman Empire. And medicine. Andreas is familiar with these, with the basics of human biology, medicine, and illness. Let's go with imperial law. Law, I suppose. I thought I could practice in Nuremberg. I never had much interest in the subject, honestly. A bit dull for my tastes. Besides, the Empire is such a mess of jurisdictions. Bavarian law, Rhenish law, Franconian law, nonsense. I'd rather use my money to pay someone who studied the nonsense, but learned it myself. You. If I had any faith, I would have prayed you'd never show your face around here again. Curse you, Lorenz Rotvogel. Pächter's dogs tearing you to pieces would be too kind a fate. These rustic communities display a shocking lack of hospitality, don't you think? Yeah, I mean, that's not coming from anywhere, Lorenz. You also chose law in your first playthrough. Every 5 kilometers, there was a different kingdom with different laws. Pretty much, in different time zones and different, I mean, currencies depending, I guess. But yeah. That would definitely be horrendous to actually have to study. Angry old woman. You love her, not just different laws, but then later also different religions. Yeah. Yeah, have fun studying all the differences between the different states. What was that about? Who knows? By the time I finish guessing, the old crone will probably be dead. Well, what of your early time in university? Every student must study the trivium and quadrivium, yes? The trivium and quadrivium represents the lower and upper divisions of a classical liberal art university education, Latin, grammar, logic, and rhetoric form. The trivium, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy form the quadrivium. Did you have a favorite subject? And another background choice. Latinist. Andreas has a strong command of Latin grammar and vocabulary. He can also easily recall sentientiae antiquae, quoted words of wisdom from the Roman Republic and Empire. The logician. Andreas instinctively thinks through the implications of information as he receives it, is adept at spatial analysis, and can easily perform complicated calculations in his head. The orator. Andreas excelled at rhetoric in university. He is a skilled teacher, persuader, and public speaker. The occultist. Andreas knows a soul-endangering amount of theoretical and practical knowledge on alchemy, astrology, theurgy, necromancy, and various magical rites and ceremonies. And we have heavens and earth. Andreas knows a great deal about the constellations, heavenly bodies, and the movements. He is also familiar with various plants and animals from study and personal experience. Now, with the choices that I've made, I kind of want to keep it like a certain archetype, right? Like my first time playing, I was really well versed in like Latin and the church, theology, you know, that kind of thing. So I was like an expert on like, you know, church and, you know, the Bible and all that. Now this time we're a bit more focused on like our craft and law. So I feel like going with logician makes a lot of sense here. In that kind of like vein. So I'm gonna go with logician here. Logic, geometry and arithmetic. Quite interesting for an artist. Was Aristotle's organon the foundation of your study? Yes, the organon for logic and Euclid's elements for geometry, but the past few centuries have yielded wonderful new texts on logic. Euclid is a mathematician of ancient Alexandria. He is recognized as the father of geometry and is most well known for his Book of Elements, the foundation of all university education on geometry. You went with Orchitus. I mean, of course you did. I wouldn't have expected anything less. If you would replay the game, would you go with another choice, or would you pick Orchitus again? Peter Abelard provided the foundation of scholastic philosophy and established the primacy of Aristotle's work. Peter Abelard is a... Jesus, it's hard to read sometimes. 10th century French teacher, philosopher, and theologian. He is known for his philosophical work in logic and his theological work in atonement theory. He is also remembered for his love affair with a student, the renowned Benedictine nun, abbess, and scholar Heloise de Argenteuil, or something. You went with Logician the second time, so you should play it again. You pick something else, because there's always something new to discover. Yeah, that's what I was also thinking. You know, kind of like go with the choices that I haven't made before. I think if I replay the game, which is likely, for a third time, then I would like to go with like, kind of like one who gets into fights easily and who's like more well versed in like speaking and persuasion and all that type of stuff. A bit of a rascal, I guess you could say. Love affair with a student? Say it ain't so. Hello there, Stanley. Welcome in, dude. And good day to you. The Englishman William of Ockham gave us the Summa Logicae, arguing nominalism against Platonic realism. A 13th and 14th century English Franciscan philosopher and theologian, known for his commentaries on Peter Abelard's 4 books of sentences, his defense of apostolic poverty, and his writings on faith and reason. Didn't I make him super inappropriate the first time? Well, he was a hedonist, but apart from that, he had like pretty much a kind of like church Latin background mostly. But in my choices, I was like super rude and I was like very antagonistic. So yeah, kind of. I mean, my approach definitely changed with time. Like, I wasn't quite as crass, to say it in an appropriate, you know, context, you know, later in the game as I was in the beginning. Because in the beginning, I really just pissed off everyone, I think. Just super antagonistic. But yeah, this time I'm planning on like playing Andreas more how I see Andreas, I guess. And I'm gonna be more respectful. And I think I'm also gonna, like, instead of focusing more on the church and trying to win their favors, I guess, I'm gonna, I think, more stick to the small people. The small guy. Or the little guy, I guess, more like. Yeah, the classic combo, you know, the church background and the hedonist. Platonic realism, you thought they see Plato as an idealist. I mean, you can redeem history time if you want to find out about it. It's a channel point reward. We can read up about Platonic realism. Because I wouldn't really say that I know much about it either. And of course, Thomas Aquinas gave us the tools to employ both faith and reason in the pursuit of truth. An immensely influential philosopher, theologian, and jurist in the tradition of scholasticism. Okay, that's a mouthful. Scholasticism. All monks and friars, of course. A great deal of work to force Aristotle to fit within the church's vision of truth. Cheers, Levi. Thank you for redeeming history time. Let's learn a bit about Platonic realism. Scholasticism. Try saying that 5 times back to back, Oliver. Okay, let me zoom in a bit so you guys can also read along. I hope it's big enough. It's like when you love realism, but realism doesn't love you back. Classic. I'm something of a philosopher myself, you know? Aren't you? The Platonic realism is a theory of reality developed by Plato and explained in his theory of forms. Platonic realism states that the visible world of particular things is a shifting exhibition, like shadows cast on a wall by the activities of a corresponding universal ideas or forms. Whereas the visible world of particulars is unreal, the forms occupy the unobservable yet true reality in the real. Platonism is a similar yet sometimes modified view of reality. Origin. Among the natural philosophers in ancient Greece, the problem of universals was a mystery of where particular things derive their traits that we perceive as universals. For instance, red, or apple, or good, or woman, or truth. Plato explained that the particular things of the visible world are imperfect, transient copies of universal ideas that are the perfect, lasting forms. Exist outside space and time. The forms are the universals and act as templates from which particulars manifest. In his Metaphysics, Aristotle, a student of Plato, explained that Socrates and his own student Plato held it significant that the world is in flux, much as Heraclitus had commented. You cannot step into the same river twice, a theme of the Eleatics, a group of pre-Socratic philosophers. So under the impression that the fact that you're kind of like stepping into a river changes the river ever so slightly. So it's not the same anymore. But to be fair, you know, every second would be like a different river in that sense. that passes. Influence. Plato considered that only the mind could access the timeless reality of truths, the realm of forms casting the visible world. Plato's metaphorical allegory of the cave, whereby humans only know reality as shadows of real things they see interacting on a wall, suggests the practical consequences of Platonic realism as the natural philosophy, in its endeavor to explain the natural world, and as to their use, theories of which often comprises ethics, aesthetics, and political philosophy in human society. Plato had led the focused application of geometry developed by Euclid to explain the natural world. Yet by his view of nature, Plato regarded astronomy as similar to seeking a theoretical proof in geometry, abstract and of real world, whereupon his mind's insight derived from a quest to hold other truths through the mind's probing of ethics and aesthetics, would yield discovery of truths within the realms of forms, outside of space and time. Yeah, it's definitely quite a bit to grasp. It definitely isn't done by just, reading this paragraph. You would definitely have to read his actual work to get a bit more of a grasp on, his theories on realism. Let's also read up on Platonism. Some mathematicians and physicists are Platonists, for instance Max Tegmark and Roger Penrose. Yet today's Platonists usually view entities within the visible world as real, and simply regard universal abstractions like numbers, sets, propositions, and geometry as corresponding to real and timeless entities that also exist. For pure Platonists regard only the forms of the realm as real. By way of string theory and the holographic principle, some physicists conjecture that Plato's allegory of a cave approximates the natural world structure. Tegmark, who regards only the mathematical structure of the universe as real, has been called a radical Platonist. Oh yeah, there you go, Oliver. It was as easy as that, wasn't it? But the question is, did you just copy-paste that, or did you write it individually? And did you also say it while writing? Exactly, Stanley. That smells like a copy-paster to me. I wanted to for you to say it 5 times in a row quickly. Yeah, who's Honor? I think Honor left the room quite a while ago. Did you know, Oliver? Did you? But you wrote it off the first time. Fair enough. We're gonna let that stand for now. But yeah, so much on Platonic realism. I hope you guys learned a little bit. But yeah, to me, what I take out of this is basically that there's a huge distinction between, the term of something and the form of something, Like something that you have to describe is just a construct in your mind, essentially, and it's not the absolute reality. Whereas what is, the description is based on, like an apple. The form itself and the thing itself is very much real. But calling it an apple, isn't necessarily. Now this is just, my understanding, like very broken down. But that's what I got out of here. You can't catch me, Copper. Pigmeister, as that kid in Disco Elysium likes to say. Kuno just doesn't fucking care. Pigmeister. This guy is a liar and a thief. Maybe there's like not this guy again. Crook-Polizei. Polizei, aufmachen bitte. Ich habe einen Haftbefehl. Haftbefehl is actually the name of a really bad German rapper. And he kind of like talks like that. Haftbefehl. It gave me a motive to go and buy some books about Plato, or at least Republic. I can't say I have any books from Plato, to be honest, either. My brother actually had to read like a lot of Plato and Socrates and stuff in his studies. Because he had to study Greek, like ancient Greek, as you know, part of his like overreaching studies. So he had to like read lots of those. And he used to like gnaw my ear off with all of that. Well, granted, it was interesting, but I can't really say that I retained a lot of that information. Who reads books in 2023 anymore? What about 2025 though? Malaka. Exactly. That's the only thing I retain from all of it. Which is funny because Malaka isn't even like an ancient Greek word, is it? It actually stems from medieval times. You're Greek? Nice. That's awesome, Peer. Are you also ancient? Are you ancient Greek? Are you? So while we are in the Historical Research Center, I can also showcase some other things we're going to be checking out as part of this run. So my plan is that every time that history time is redeemed, if it isn't like specifically about a topic that we want to dive into, then we're going to watch like 10 to 20 minutes of this documentary about the making of Pentiment by the YouTube channel No Clip. They're quite famous for investigations into studios and the developing process. And I watched already quite a bit of it to kind of like get a bit of an understanding for what it's about. And it was so good and so well made that I would ideally showcase the entire documentary over a playthrough. Now if we do it in like 10 to 20 minutes, which is like the duration of like one chapter on average, then I think we can probably do it. But yeah, we talk about like the origin of the project, the prototype, the time and setting, the historical costumery, the protagonist, Andreas Mahler, animations, the gameplay side of things, historical challenges. So it's gonna be particularly interesting. The typeface, and yeah, much more. The final acts, we're probably gonna skip that unless we're gonna watch it after finishing the game. We could do that. But yeah, it's really well done, and there's so many interesting facts about the history and the developing process that I'd definitely like to showcase. But yeah, so much to that. Aren't we all ancient? Well, anything above 30 is very much ancient, isn't it? So yes, very ancient. Is that so wrong? I question that these great men should have had the rest of logic into what the church established by fiat and force. And your other studies? Was there anything else you excelled at? Ah, right, yeah, we can choose 2. I mean, we study law, so honestly, orator would make sense. Also, skilled teacher, you know, we kind of like focus a lot on the arts and crafting. So definitely skilled.
Ancient writing from the old kingdom.
The heavens and earth I would like to combine with medicine in another playthrough, I think. Latinist I've already chosen, so I'm gonna go with orator. So being like a skilled teacher, persuader, and public speaker. Ancient writing. From the Old Kingdom. The art of persuasion, naturally, rhetoric. Ah, I assume you studied the Greeks and Romans both. Yes, Aristotle and Cicero, of course, but also Christian thinkers like Augustine and Thomas Aquinas. Saint Augustine of Hippo was an early Christian philosopher, theologian, and bishop of Hippo Regius. He is recognized as a doctor of the church and is most known for his works The City of God and his autobiographic Confessions, as well as his development of a doctrine of original sin. True, we have less use for public discourse than senators did in the Roman Republic. Exactly, the doctors of the church weren't trying to persuade politicians, but to move the mind towards Christian truth. Still, the principles remain the same. Invent your arguments, then arrange, style, and internalize them before delivering them to your audience. Splendid, though I suppose an artist has little use for rhetoric, especially in a place such as this. Not true. Rhetoric is also an art, and like other forms of art, it should be created for the audience and its purpose. It can be practiced as easily in the streets of a rural town as in the Curia of Rome. Though outshone by its northern neighbor Florence, Rome is still the seat of power for the Catholic Church and an impressive center for the arts. We also talked about it in AC2 and Brotherhood, the standing of Florence and how, you know, it kind of like overtook Rome in many ways. Well put. Ah, there's the abbey. I've good memories of this place and of Father Matthias. I was sad to hear of his passing. How did you come to know him? How did you come to know of Kirsau at all? My family have been patrons of Kirsau for, I don't know how many generations. Some years ago I heard that Kirsau still had a wonderful library and artisans. Professional artists have taken over most manuscripts productions, so I was shocked to find an active scriptorium here. This is as good a place as any to create art. Certainly, though I'm sure you miss the comforts of Nuremberg when you're stuck in a drafty old abbey like this. This game is like a mix between Kingdom Come Deliverance and Disco Elysium. That is true. Yeah, I actually had to think of Disco Elysium 2 times or so during the stream already. Like kinda, you know, being thrown back to my Disco Elysium playthrough. And yeah, the time and the font and the setting, you know, it's of course very, very similar to Kingdom Come. Like also some of the fonts they're using and, you know, the art style that they're using, for instance, for the map in Kingdom Come is quite similar to one they're using here. I got back there soon enough. I'm in no rush. That's good for me, since I still appreciate the Abbey's work. I commissioned the manuscript for Father Gernot a year ago. I thought I would stop by and check on my progress. Wait, are you the artist working on it? It's a prayer book with 20 illustrations. I know the work, but no. I do know the artist well. The venerable brother Piero. How venerable? He still has his wits and his skills, if that's what concerns you. Brother Piero has an incredible talent with color. And I very much look forward to seeing it. Michlaus, tend to the horses and the baggage. I'm heading up to the abbey. Yes, my lord. Well, let's not keep the abbot waiting any longer. Nuns. Quite unusual for a Benedictine house to have monks and nuns, even if they are separated. Founded in the 6th century, the Benedictines are a Christian monastic order that observes vows of obedience, poverty, chastity, and stability under the rule of Saint Benedict of Nursia. The church closed most of them centuries ago. But then Kirsau is a place not of time in more ways than one. Do you know Mother Cecilia? She seemed to recognize you. We are acquainted, yes. Let's leave it at that. Ah, you must be Father Gernot. I'm Lorenz, Baron of... Yes, the Baron of Rotvogel. So wonderful to have you here again. We actually did meet on your last visit. Ah, if you say so. I'm not good with remembering faces. Please forgive me, my lord, but I wasn't expecting you for another few days. Yes, I know, but I wrote ahead. I just couldn't wait to see my manuscript. I'm sure it's no trouble? Well, yes. I mean, no. It's no trouble. Did you want to see it now? Oh, in a moment. I could do with a bit of refreshment, though. May I grab something from the kitchen? Yes, certainly, my lord. I will meet you there. Andreas, I don't know what you were doing with the Baron, but I need you in the scriptorium. Now. Is this a bad time? Yeah, it is. Of course, Father. I'm eager to get to work. Then get to work. Jesus. Shit, I should have asked him about in advance of Gärtner's taxes. I mean, yes, but I thought, I would get another opportunity too. I mean, literally talks about this being a bad point to talk about it. Maybe I could just convince Brother Mathieu to pay me earlier. Ah yeah. Well, let's do that. Well, kinda have to go to work, but I don't care. Reliquary containing the hand of Saint Moritz, which is said to have once held the Holy Lands. Also called the Spear of Destiny or the Lance of Longinus. The Lance of Longinus. It is the lance that pierced Jesus' side on the cross. Many legends surround the lance and several places claim to possess it. His best friend was Biggus Dickus. Sun bless you, Master Maler. God bless you, sorry. I thought she was addressing me as son. God bless you, Master Maler. How goes your work in the scriptorium? Very well, thank you. Oh, then I guess you wouldn't be interested in the Saffron Agnes Steinauren received yesterday. What? Saffron? Really? Where did you hear that? Sister Matilda saw her at the Albans. That's Sister Matilda. Maybe can convince Prior Ferenc to get some for your yellows. Good to know. How's Mausfänger? That's German for mouse catcher. She's around here somewhere, hopefully getting to the baby rabbits before Sister Matilda does. Until later, Sister Gertrude. Bless you, Andreas. Maybe I see you by the shrine of Saint Satya one of these days. God bless you, Brother Piero? No, wait, it's Master Mahler. I thought you couldn't see, Sister Margarete. During the day, I can see some colors. How did you know it was me? You and Brother Piero both smell of the pigments you use. But you're taller and you have another smell to you, like fish or burnt almonds. Well, I mean, we have almonds with us. It's like part of our lunch meal. But I don't think that's the one that she's smelling here. It's the linseed oil. Would be funny if you could answer with, what the hell is that? That's true. So that's old linseed oil, popular among the Italians, but Brother Piero doesn't use it. I will ask Sister Gertrude about it. How are Sister Gertrude herbs coming? It's too early to tell, most of them won't be grown until May. Still working with herbs suits me. Have a good day, Sister Margarete. God bless you, Master Mahler. Brother Mathieu maintains this shrine along with some of his sisters, who paint badges of for pilgrims. Okay, we're gonna go to the convent garden later. Let's actually make our way to the scriptorium. For now. I'm gonna talk to Sephardt. God give you health, Master Mahler. Brother Sephardt, I'm surprised to see you are still here. As am I, but I will be leaving soon, returning to Rome. I and my bishop regret that we couldn't reciprocate Father Rodolph's generosity earlier. He showed me much kindness to our priest at the Council of Constance many years ago. The Council of Constance is a meeting of bishops that took place between 1414 and 1418 in the Diocese of Constance to end the Papal Schism. It was also notable for the condemnation and capture of a Bohemian theologian, Jan Hus. And that's something that was talked about in Kingdom Come 2. Even if Kingdom Come takes place in 1403, the kind of like database entries in the game talk a lot about the years to come and the changes they brought, especially Jan Hus. And Jan Hus is also a character you get to meet as well in the game. No running in the scriptorium. Exactly. Will you remain in Rome? That is up to my bishop, but I will miss these mountains in any case. You should travel to Utopia, Master Mahler, and see the highlands. God has blessed my home with a wondrous beauty. I would love to, someday. I still need to return to Nuremberg and open my workshop. Yes, someday. Until then, if you're ever in Rome, I may still be around. I would like that. By the way, if you have some time in the next few days, it would be nice to share a meal with you and some of the townsfolk. The townsfolk? I'm accustomed to strange looks, especially in rural places like these, but I have kind words with a baker and his wife. Oh yes, the Albans, Ulrich and Gret. I offer to tell a story to the children and their mothers over a meal someday. Gret seemed excited about the idea, but it would be more comfortable if you were there as well. Yeah, I mean, I can make time. Not tonight, I guess. I mean, we are there tonight, but another day, surely. Thank you, Andreas. I look forward to it. God give you health. Okay, we gotta find again where the scriptorium was. But I'm gonna find it eventually. When the brothers eat their meals, this is where the lector reads to them. A monument to the founder of the abbey. It's fairly recent. The funds were donated by her descendants. Looks lovely. I would love to meet her. The apple trees have only started to bloom. It will be months before they bear fruit. It does, doesn't it, Zeket? Quite creepy.
Victime Pascali laudes, immolen Christiani, Agnus redemit oves, Christus innocens Patri, reconciliavit peccatores, mos et vita duello conflixere mirando.
God bless you, Andreas. Has your voice yet recovered from Easter Mass, Rüdiger? I mean, it sounds like. Honestly, it was quite beautiful. Not gonna lie. That's a very melismatic voice. Melismatic? What does melismatic mean, Pierre? If you don't mind elaborating. Oh yes, it was a bit of a strain, but a worthy sacrifice. Well, if the Lord could give us his all on Easter. Exactly. Have a good day in the scriptorium. Have a good day singing.
Dux vitae mortuus, victime Pascali laudes, immolens
God bless you, Andreas. How's the sacristy today, Matthew? The same as yesterday. Does my vocation seem silly to you, Master Mala? No, I was just being friendly. Then go in peace, friend, knowing that the Abbey's treasures are secure for another day. God be with you. One more thing, I have a favor to ask of you. Yes, Andreas? I was hoping you could give me the pay for the latest manuscript early. This isn't part of the agreement you made with Father Gernot. You'll be paid on the completion of each additional manuscript you illuminate, not before. Can't you make an exception this once? Not without good reason. This abbey runs through mutual agreements, not haphazard payments. Breaking such contracts would cause undue trouble not only for Kirsau, but for Tassing as well. P, it's about when you sing, you are employing several distinct pitches for vocalization of a single syllable. Oh. I gotcha, yeah. I get what you mean, like listening to it. Yeah, that's very common in like songs you would sing in a church as well. Like I remember, you know, like I had to go to the church quite often as a kid and teenager. So I like remember lots of the songs, and that definitely being like certainly a technique that was used a lot in the Choralen, I guess. That's what they called it. Is that why Father Abbot has increased the taxes on the Gärtners? What is this about, Andreas? I would like to help the Gärtners pay their taxes to the Abbey. Then plead your case to Father Gernot. It's his decision. The matter is pressing, Brother Matthew. In the name of Christian charity, isn't there anything you can do? What's giving you pause? My sacred duty is giving me pause, Master Mala. So why did I fail? I thought it was revealed afterwards. Never mind. Gonna pay more attention to the fail meter next time. Because I wasn't like that, like I was quite nice to him. Speak to Father Gernot. I have no problem paying you early, if it is the abbot's will to do so. God bless you. Ah ja, there it is. The scriptorium. Wanna at least make it here before we call it for today and talk to the guys. Andreas, God bless you. So good to see you. Good morning, Brother Piero. Good to see you as well. I don't like this weather. My bones ache. It means a storm is coming. Big Jörg Gärtner says that if you live here 10 or 15 years, you can smell storms coming. There he is, Big Jörg. Brother Ali Dog has been here long enough that we can always smell him coming. Do not forget, brother guy, the fate of the youth who... Jesus. Who jeered the age prophet Eliza outside of Bethel. Yeah, some of these words are gonna be tricky to read in that font. Especially if I like, you know, kind of like own names. Are you comparing yourself to a prophet, brother Edidog? Edog? I'm comparing you to an impudent youth whom the Lord in his ineffable wisdom may choose to strike down. I don't know if I should pick a side here or not. I feel like they're gonna remember, like either of them gonna remember that. And definitely rather, you know, talk brother guy down to show more respect. There's also like something between them, so I don't have to like involve myself into like every conflict. To be honest. I mean, Edog, you know, doesn't seem like he needs the support, you know. He's already, you know, cursed that guy. Well, everyone seems quite lively. I suppose that means Prior Faring is not overseeing us today. He was here, but then he heard Lorenz Rotfogo had arrived, and he buried and he hurried out like a little mouse. Frank is so desperate to impress the abbot, and nobles like Rotfogo. It's pathetic. We thank kindness to Father Abbot and our prior only to speak about them like this behind their backs. It's shameful. Oh no, Baron Rotfogo? His manuscript? I just realized that he will want to see his manuscript. How silly of me. Of course that's why he's visiting. Perhaps if you were younger and faster, you wouldn't need to worry so much about patron visits. Jesus, guy's an asshole. P like Gothic fonts sometimes. A little bit hard to make the letters. Yeah. Some can definitely be tricky to make out. Especially if it's like a word that you're not used to reading. Also, Maxi, welcome in, dude. Thank you so much for the raid. And how's it going? How was the stream? Did you play more GTA Vice City today? Welcome in, dude. Just a short stream during work lunch, so little raid. I gotcha, dude. I'm doing pretty much the same. I'm also gonna call it here in a few minutes and then I'm gonna work some myself. So definitely get that. But yeah, I hope you had a good time. You got the platinum? Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. GG's. Yeah, that is definitely not an easy task either, right? Like, that game requires quite a bit of you to get the platinum. I assume you've done lots like off-stream, did you? Oh, that's great. So yeah, if you haven't checked out Maxi yet, there's a shout out in chat. Definitely consider doing so. He's been just finishing his Grand Theft Auto Vice City Platinum run. And he's also played games like The Precinct, Assassin's Creed Shadows recently. And yeah, is a great dude, knows lots about streaming and the technological side of things behind streaming. So yeah, if you have any questions, then he also has a YouTube channel where he's having tutorials, for example, for StreamerBot. And yeah, definitely check it out if you haven't yet. The electric went out for a split second, so your stream went down. Oh no. That really sucks, dude. Sorry to hear. That's not the end to a stream that, you know, one would want. But hey, at least you got the platinum, you know, in time. And that's the verse of a shout out. yeah. I mean, if I have a choice, then I'd definitely like to prioritize actual choices that are based on our background. So this is one of them, that we only get if we are a craftsman. A true craftsman cares more about quality than simply being fast. With skill comes speed. Sadly, it may elude you forever. I would rather take my time and compromise quality. Anyway, what's the problem? The Baron is just one client. He has to wait like anyone else. Andreas, Baron Rotvogel is not like anyone else. He has powerful friends, including the Prince Bishop of Freising. Religious and secular ruler of scattered territories in the Holy Roman Empire, including the lands containing Tassing and Kiersau Abbey. No worries, Maxi. Thank you so much for the lurk and again for the raid. I really appreciate it. I hope the rest of the work goes well for you. And you're going back to Precinct then? Now that you finished it? Oh yeah. That's gonna be good, especially now with the save issue fixed, hopefully. But yeah, thanks again so much, Maxi. Yeah, I'm also gonna have to call it here quite soon, actually. Like in 5 minutes. So I hope the scene doesn't take overly long anymore, otherwise we have to kind of call it here in a sec. Kiersau is already out of favor. Father Abbot does not want to have to deal with more attention. Well, if Prior Ferenc isn't here, I'm going to work on my masterpiece until he arrives. Oh, that's right. I need to reference the In der Mauer manuscript. A prominent family of the Swiss Confederacy in Austria. Hello, Vaserif. Welcome in. And good day. What do you want, Andreas? A book. The In der Mauer manuscript. The Book of Hours. A type of illuminated manuscript that contains an abbreviated form of a prayers for the divine office in addition to other religious texts. Most are relatively plain, but wealthy patrons often commission lavish examples with elaborate illustrations. Your hair looks messy today. Did you get enough sleep? Also, give me just 1 second. Alrighty, I'm back. What do you mean? I mean, did you sleep alone or... why do you want to know? It would be nice to have something to think about during divine reading. The Lectio Divina is a thoughtful reading of and meditation on scripture. The practice leads to prayer and contemplation. It is a daily part of life in Benedictine communities. Have you considered the Lord? You really are a cloud on a sunny day, Andreas. Could I just get the book? That's all that way upstairs. Can't you just get by without it? I'm sorry, but I really can't. I need to reference it for my work. Really? My feet hurt and The stairs are so steep. I'm just going to ask Illuminata to get it. That's Illuminata. Sister Illuminata. Andreas needs a book and he's being inappropriate with me. Andreas. Sister Illuminata, I'd like to borrow the In der Mauer manuscript, the Book of Hours. Yes, I overheard. Here, please return it promptly. Andreas, may I see how your masterpiece is coming? Of course, your opinion is always welcome. Yes, the composition is lovely. There's a joyful spirit in the arrangement of the figures. The contrast of colors is also quite nice. Rich and beautiful on their own, but not overpowering the scene. It doesn't feel right. I don't know why. It's an excellent interpretation of someone else's work. That's what the client wants. What do you want? Where are you in this work? I didn't know there was room for me in here. It is inescapable. We all put ourselves into our work, whether we realize it or not. What does this painting represent? It's November. In November, we show peasants leading their pigs into the forest to forage on acorns before the slaughter. Andreas, the peasants here are no longer allowed to forage acorns in the forest. Many great lords and abbots across the empire have forbidden it, even Father Gernot. What difference does it make? This is the way November is painted. But it is not the way November is. Art is illusion, storytelling, but in their most sublime form, these images illuminate a path to truth. The technique is all that matters to me, perfecting the craft. Can't that be enough? Only you can answer that, Andreas. There was a time that I marveled at my own technique. But there is a reason we monks do not usually identify ourselves in our work. It's for men's pride, vanity. With time, I learned to take simple satisfaction in helping to speak truth to others, to spread the truth. But you need not listen to my opinions, they are just the thoughts of one old monk. There is no place for the monastic scriptoria anymore. In truth, this room is a place out of time. Does it make you sad? I'll admit, I'm still fond of the old styles of lettering and illumination, but even in my youth, I knew it couldn't last. The creation of books of art is no longer the province of monasteries, so be it. More people will be able to write, more will be able to read, and in so doing, be brought to truth. I think there will always be a place for artists like you and Brother Adok. Not Guy. And Brother Guy. It's kind of you to say so, Andreas, but you need not be concerned for me. I have lived a long life and I'm happy to have served the Lord. When life calls for me, I am ready. There we go, the first time skip.
The only thing that waits for you is oblivion.
Ah, where's the time gone? It is already... Terce, monastic hour corresponding to 9 AM, one of the little hours of prayer. Terce precedes Mass and the chapter meeting. Too much talk. I must ask forgiveness for not honoring the rule. The Rule of Saint Benedict of Nursia is a book of instructions for monks living together under the guidance of an abbot. Written in the 6th century, the rule provides the principles for living a monastic life. Until later, Andreas. Until later. What are you doing, Billy? What's going on in here? Okay, and this is a moment where we have full control of Andreas again. And this is also where we're gonna... Yeah, 7 seconds ago, that's good. Call it for the stream today, because, yeah, I gotta go, unfortunately. But yeah, time has honestly flown. Like, when you have to talk and read a lot, then it definitely, you know, makes the stream go by even faster. Yeah, I would have loved to play more, but we're gonna have to do that tomorrow with a longer stream again. For tonight, this is gonna, or today rather, this is gonna be it. I've done so many like night streams recently. But yeah, my work starts in like 10 minutes, or less actually, so really gotta go now. Let's have a look for if anyone is online who we could raid today. No. Yeah, thank you all so much for being here and for joining us today. Really appreciate it. And yeah, as I said, tomorrow we're gonna go back to Pentiment, and tomorrow's also gonna be a longer stream. So we're gonna definitely dive into the second day and finish with the first here. We're gonna go and raid out to Rod, indeed, Seraph. Was playing some Quantum Break. If you would like to join us for a raid over to Rod Legion, feel free to copy and paste raid emotes in chat. And yeah, hope everyone's having a great rest of the day. And thank you so much again for joining us for the start of our Pentiment playthrough.
Shadows are his element. His nerves are made of steel. He'll gut the guard and claim their heads. His vengeance they will feel.
Indeed. Until next time.